This is Carrie Johnson with the Iowa Department of Management, and this is the 6th video in the webinar series Property Valuation System Basics. This video is going to assume that you've run through all the steps needed to upload your data, you've error checked your data, and everything is as you would expect it to be. You've double checked your reports, and you're ready to finalize your data. So again, before filing data, be sure to run the errors check and rollback worksheet. If you do have errors that you then correct, upload new data, what have you, please make sure to rerun the errors check and rollback reports after you've made any corrections. Keep in mind that you cannot flip-flop taxing district numbers from year to year. You can't change taxing districts from TIF base to TIF increment or vice versa. And you can't change non-TIF taxing districts to TIF taxing districts or vice versa. You also cannot change a taxing district property type from rural to urban or urban to rural. So if tax district 01001 last year was a rural district, this year you can't say that that same tax district number is an urban district. You also can't change taxing districts from city exempt to not city exempt or vice versa. And you cannot submit negative valuations, negative military exemptions, or negative homestead amounts. Some more final checks. Please check with your assessor and reconcile the valuations that you're submitting with the assessor's abstract of valuations sent to Department of Revenue. Check to determine if there were any adjustment issues affecting the valuations since the assessor submitted them to you. So for instance, when the assessor submitted valuations in the intervening time, there's been a court case or a property assessment appeal board case that has then lowered the value of certain properties within your county, and so you'd need to go ahead and make those corrections or any other corrections or slight changes that may need to be made in that intervening time between when the assessor gave the file to you and to when you're filing it. Also, you're going to want to check your TIFs manually. Check the TIF district valuations to make sure that the software generated amounts equal the amounts calculated using the TIF formula that's found in your valuation instructions. If a TIF authority requests less than the amount authorized, so they're not getting the maximum incremental value, they want something less than that just to pay certain payments in the fiscal year, make sure that you reallocate any unneeded incremental value back to the base value so everyone can tax against it. Ensure that any rollback is coming off the base district first. The base district is who covers the rollback in a base and increment pair. And also make sure that your 100% taxable values are both appropriately distributed between your base and increment tax districts. For utility values, if any taxing districts were created or deleted and contained utility value, make sure that the movement of utility values from one tax district to another are reconciled with the Department of Revenue and the utility companies. We see this most often with annexations or with school reorganizations. So in the current year, Department of Revenue and you might have a particular gas and electric company as having value in a particular taxing district. But we know that in the next assessment year, it so happens that there's a school consolidation and you're going to be deleting that tax district number because all that value is going to be absorbed by another tax district and all the levy authorities are going to be carrying over to that new tax district. So you're going to delete that old one. Well, basically what you're saying is that you are moving the value from a tax district that Department of Revenue had in it to a different tax district in the next year. So you're going to have to disclose that information to Department of Revenue and to the utility company so they're aware. And there is a particular form that Department of Revenue wants you to use to do that. It's IDR Form 2 53-019, and it's found on their website, as you can see listed here. Also, while working in the property valuation system, when you are done, you're going to be asked to file your data with DOM in order to make your reports public. So when you're all done, you've done all your errors checks, run your reports, everything looks good to go, you're ready to share that information with all the levy authorities and make it public, you're going to file data with DOM. Anytime you go in and make changes, so say you filed data with DOM, but you found an error or there was a late valuation change that we want to go ahead and try to accommodate, you're going to need to file your data with DOM again to finalize those changes. So how do we file the data? From the homepage menu, you'll see an option, File Data with DOM, and it's saying here that your data is flagged as a work in progress and is not considered filed, and it's not available to the public. And it's going to ask you, do you want to file your data with Department of Management, which at the same time makes your data available via public reports. So you're going to select yes or no and proceed. Valuation reports are due to all levy authorities and to DOM by January 1. That is the statutory deadline. There are a variety of reports that are available not only to you, but also to the public. And these are available via the public reports link on the Department of Management website. So under dom.iowa.gov/counties, you can go to View Valuation Reports. And there's also a link for those that are just citizens hitting the site. But if you're providing this link to someone, here's one way to do it. So you'd select View Valuation Reports. And there's obviously a variety of reports available. One that folks, your levy authorities might want are the reports for commercial and industrial that they will use to estimate the commercial and industrial replacement dollars that they will receive. And the reports that they'll use are the taxable valuations and 100% valuations by class by levy authority. So they'll click on the desired report and then they can pull those up. And this is what they look like. Again, it's just the particular levy authority and all the different classes of property, TIF and non-TIF and total, valuations by class for each and every levy authority, 100% and taxable. So for the folks calculating commercial industrial replacement, they'll find the difference between the 100% and taxable and do an estimate of what the replacement dollars will be from there. So again, if you refile your value, make sure you file your data with DOM again after you make changes. You need to alert all affected levy authorities to any changes. So say there was a late valuation change that came in, you filed your data on January 1, but on January 3rd, there's a valuation change that came in and it's significant and we want to make sure levy authorities know. So you make that change to your value, you file data with DOM again, but then you also want to follow up with those levy authorities to make sure that they're aware of the change. Those that complete budgets via the online system will also receive a notification from the online budget system that the valuations have been updated. So that is the county assessor, the ag extension folks, townships, what have you. This does not include schools, cities, or community colleges. You will definitely need to follow up with them directly to let them know of the valuation change. So that's just in a summary what you would need to do to finalize and file your data with Department of Management. If you have any questions regarding this process or any part of the valuations process, please contact me. My phone number is 515-281-5598, and I'm at carrie.johnson@iowa.gov. Thank you.